Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dixon Leadership. And today we have one of our nice speakers, and she's so nice, really so nice. You know, I reached out to her, and then I really didn't know she was going to actually accept the invitation. But I'm really grateful that we have her here today, and she's also a leadership coach. So it will be a great privilege for us to teach us today. And welcome, our speaker, ma'am. You're welcome, ma'am.
Miracle, thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for your very warm welcome. There is absolutely no way I couldn't accept your invitation because the topic you asked me to speak about is very important. And I think we connected based on the questions that you shared, that you see there is a lack of leadership amongst the young adults, whether it's in local communities, whether it's in the schools, whether it's in the corporate. And I truly believe it's such a powerful topic, and it's really important. I've seen it myself in my corporate life, and it's actually what I'm focusing on today as a leadership coach. So this to say, there is absolutely no way I could have refused your invitation. So I'm thrilled to be here. I hope it will be insightful. I hope it will be helpful. And I'm here to share as much insight and knowledge I have on the matter as I can. And I really wanted to make a interactive session. So obviously I have some information to share, but let's please make it a dialogue. Please, guys, ask any questions, raise your hands. Let's dive into discussion because that's how we learn from each other. So the topic for today, what Miracle asked me to speak about, is servant leadership. And I actually wanted to push a bit further the topic and not to speak about servant leadership only, but narrow it down to the digital age, because I really believe the new digital landscapes that we all live today, it changed drastically the leadership itself. It changed our behavior. It changed the skill set we need to portray in the modern life. And so I will be speaking today about servant leadership in the digital age. I pause here. So shall I share the slides, Miracle? Or you have something else to share to open up? All right, so I'm jumping to the slides. So what I would like to discuss with you today. So I would like to speak about, let me just open this way. I would like obviously to discuss the definition of servant leadership, but above all, also to discuss what servant leadership is not, because there are so many misconceptions, there are so many myths what leadership is and actually what servant leadership is, and I would like to ensure that we're all on the same page and we clarify all the misconceptions and myths to have the conversation going. Second one, since we are talking about their digital influence, I want us to discuss how social media amplifies servant leadership. What are the new tools? What are the new skills? And how we can increase the voice, how we can increase the reach to bigger social levels to make sure we impact as much as we can. I definitely want to share with you some examples. What are great digital campaigns as that gave us a new lessons in leadership, gave us a new examples, gave us a new historical milestones that we are already not going back and we are not taking for granted because it changed significantly how we live in our modern lives. Last but not least, it's absolutely important that we start being leaders ourselves. And so the question I hear a lot as a leadership coach, so how to become a leader? What does it take? What are the skills do I need? So we'll be talking about what are some core skills. Obviously, their leadership topic is infinite, but what are some key skills, core skills we can start developing in ourselves to be a better leader? And of course, when and how can we start? So what are the small actions we can start doing already today? But before we go all there, I just wanted to present myself. So, is it still visible? Sorry. I'm playing this button, so I'm not touching it. So who I am, right? So I am Julia. I'm a leadership coach, and thank you so much, Miracle, for introduction. I've been in the corporate business for the last 16 years, always in charge for marketing, trade, and sales business units, working for big companies across multiple markets, regions. So I really had an opportunity to work with people coming from different cultures or from different educational backgrounds or from different upbringings that gave me opportunity to form this 360 understanding what the modern definition of leadership is. I also hold MBA degree from INSEAD Business Schools with a focus on leadership and organizational behavior. I'm an ICF coach, which is International Coaching Federation, that I got from IPEC, Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching. This all just to say that I'm extremely passionate about leadership. It's something that I'm doing for life, and I really want to ensure that there is a bigger and better awareness what is high quality leadership is. So if you would love to continue the discussion, if you're curious about free tips about leadership, how to become a better leader, how to improve your skills, please follow me on social medias. I'm absolutely always delighted to meet new people and to share new information with you. So what is servant leadership? Servant leadership is a philosophy where the leader aims to provide as much service, as much support, as much help to his people, to his team. And it's also important, as I said, to know the difference, what servant leadership is, but also what it is not. Quite often, I hear it a lot from the young adults, right? The definition of leader, it's someone who is very old. It's someone who has gray hair. It's someone who has a very big title, which is so false. We are all leaders. We can be leaders, if you want, in our life today. We can be leaders in our communities. We can be leaders in our families, as long as everything what we do comes from our heart. And this is, for me, almost the key difference of what leadership is and what leadership is not. You could see also on the screen, right? The good leadership comes from the intention of serving others. And by no means it comes from desire or search of control and power. This is absolutely opposite side of leadership, right? If you want to have it's like antonym of leadership. Leadership means to empower. Leadership means to enable. Leadership means to support, but not to micromanage, not to manipulate. It really helps people to grow. It really helps people to move to the next level. But servant leadership doesn't mean that as a leader, you will be people pleaser. Yes, leadership could be still tough. It could be still demanding with intention to help people really unleash their skills and capacity, but not necessarily, not at all actually accepting all their wishes, needs, and demands and be people pleaser in this sense. Servant leadership always comes from listening. And it's really important that we listen well. And what I call it, like even developing not only active listening, but intuitive. Be able to understand what person means, but never assume. If we are not clear what person is saying, the best way is instead of doing hypothesis, it's always ask, what do you mean? Like really clarify as many details as possible that you have crystal clear clarity what person is trying to convey. And of course, the bottom line, the main criteria of difference of leadership versus not leadership is empathy. You will see me speaking later on that empathy is a cornerstone of leadership, of servant leadership. And by any means, it should not be ego. Ego drives us to control, ego drives us to power, ego drives us to greed. And this is not what real leadership stands for. Why I'm talking today about media landscape? Because today media, because today digital landscape, whether we like it or not, changed our lives. We have young adults who became digital natives. They really speak fluently languages of social media, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, whether it's X or LinkedIn, you name it. We spend majority of our days online. And so, yes, there are different ways how we can benefit from this new landscape. Of course, we can keep doing what we all used to do, and me being guilty myself, the first one, sharing your life moments, just scrolling through the screen, exchanging some messages. But there is another way of using this new landscape as a digital environment, is actually find ways how to serve the purpose. And I consciously pause here because all of us can define what purpose is. Purpose is unique for everyone. As long as it comes from the empathy, it doesn't serve your ego, it's not searching for control and power. There is a purpose that we could all strive to support. It could be a small purpose in your community. It could be a huge purpose on the planet scale, I don't know, like a climate change, for example. And so as long as we have this passion to support the purpose, we can definitely find our ways and means to use social media to bring this purpose to life. So instead of just basically following the route of social media as we used to do up to now, I really invite all of us to see how we can change our habits, still relying a lot on the platforms, on the social media where we spend a sufficient amount of time, but really try to get something different and something positive out of this cycle. Why I'm saying it? Because actually, if you look at the historic examples, there are so many great initiatives that were born online. Look about at the key mainstream, let's say, initiatives that were born from Instagram, that went from X, raising to the key social activities. Me Too movement, that was which purpose was to raise awareness about sexual harassment. It just started as a simple hashtag, but it really escalated to the massive level across the globe, allowing women to get strength to actually raise their hands and to actually speak up that they would never do without the support of the digital world. And actually, it's a fantastic example of leadership because they had strength to raise their hand and say what was not right. They had strength to speak up, and that's exactly what the leader does. Black Lives Matter, the movement that was originated in the US, was a fantastic example to drive awareness about racism that was omnipresent, but no one spoke about it. And thanks to their social media and their limitless reach and capacity of the channels and the platforms, we as a humanity managed to escalate this topic and people aware of it. And last but not least, the one example that I also want to bring as something that started from the small scale, but got such a big magnitude thanks to the social media. And again, people willing to speak up, it's climate actions. And I apologize, I have a mistype here, but climate actions was really born as a small initiative, kind of originated in a small, like different locations, and then eventually it became a global movement. So the digital landscape drastically changed the environment we live in. And it gave us also the capacity, the tools, and the means to be someone who leads the action, not only someone who waits for another person to start and potentially be a follower, but it gives us tools to originate, to gives us platforms to speak up and to raise a hand. Obviously, the question comes up, okay, so I want to be there, I'm already there on these platforms, but what can I do? What type of skills do I need? Well, do I just raise a hand? Do I just start posting? Do I just pick any purpose and keep talking about it? Yes, of course, it's a fantastic, great start because you have a purpose, you have a calling, you have a mission that you want other people to be aware about. But before you go there, I really encourage you to focus on some skills. What I believe are important skills for servant leaders in the digital age, right? I will always kind of keep this little disclaimer here. There are plenty of skills. It's a really infinite amount of skills that leaders can focus on. But to be a leader, especially online, I would recommend focusing on top 3. First of all, it's communication. Excuse me. Second one is emotional intelligence. And third one is a resolution. Why those 3? Because when we are online, when we are trying to be a leader, across the screen, our skills are different. We are not interacting with a human being. We are interacting with a huge amount of human beings who we might not know directly, who will be isolated or who will be remote from us, who might be seated in different geography, in different country, speak different language. And so it creates certain cultural difference. And so it's very important to start that we build great communication skills. And communication skill, it's not only about pushing through your message. It's not only enforcing the words that you want to express, but also be able to listen, also be able to scan the audience, really trying to understand insights, really trying to be attentive, being ready to change your point of view if you get new knowledge. Like, okay, I didn't know that. Now I amplified my awareness. So I might actually modify my point of view and make it slightly different. Really be open-minded. And communication here is one of the core skills, which is a paradox of the modern life. It becomes more and more important, but it's also, I find, more and more difficult to achieve since we are speaking majority of our time through the screens. Today, I see a lot, it actually comes as well through my coaching clients. I see a lot that people claim they struggle to build efficient communication. Because as a humanity, we actually might face a situation when we start losing the skills. So it's really important to keep, to be on the toes of your communication skills. Emotional intelligence. It's my second one, because again, it's important that we understand emotions of people in front of us. It's really important in real life, absolutely. And it's very difficult to develop because it requires such immense amount of self-awareness and self-consciousness to observe your own emotions, but also be observer of emotions in another person. But it becomes even more difficult online. Quite often, it's so easy to hurt someone online only because we don't see the person, only because we don't read his emotion, only because we don't understand his or her situation, or we don't want to understand. And so I really encourage everyone, especially young leaders who aim to make this big impact via the social channels, try to be thoughtful, try to be conscious what you want to communicate and how emotionally, what energy you want to convey through your message. And last but not least, it's a conflict resolution. Why I bring it here? Because it's so easy to promote hate online. It's really easy because, again, you're not interacting with a live individual, right? You're interacting with your digital friend who is sits somewhere remotely, and it's easy to create anger. It's easy to promote hate. It's easy to promote, anxiety. And so it's important to be thoughtful and know where to stop. It's important to know until where you want to push and where you want to change the direction. So those three, for me, it's really a foundation of how we can start being a better leaders in the digital age. Obviously, it's just a foundation, and I want to reinforce the word of foundation because to be a leader, we need to grow and we need to develop our skills pretty much throughout the life. That's how we always and constantly improve. But now the question, okay, so I have the skills. What do I do with the skills? One more, actually. I want also to reiterate it here because one point that unites good quality communication, emotional intelligence, and conflict resolution is empathy. And I really can speak volumes about empathy because I feel like we don't have it enough in our life, and it can never be too much, never, because empathy actually helps us to be better human beings. It helps us to really understand perspective of other person, thoughts of other person, desires or intention of other person. I spoke about conflict resolution. I spoke about how it's easy to fall into hate trap. And so to avoid it, everything you're doing, everything you're posting online, everything you're communicating, get it through your empathy filter. Get it through your empathy checklist. Does it feed the purpose? Does it come from your heart? Does it have a good positive intention? Does it inspire, trust and loyalty and desire to grow as their humanity? Then go for it. Because if you create this empathy environment for people around you, people in return, they will feel heard, they will feel supported, they will feel understood. And so it creates this ripple effect of us building a more collaborative, a more understood, mutually understood environment that by default creates a more positive attitude in people's minds and hearts. So if there is one message I want you to take from this little talk, please try to be as much empathetic in your daily lives as possible, because those are small little steps that can really make a huge difference in our life. And so actually, what are those steps that we can make in our lives? I do encourage you, really, each and everyone, be the change of your generation. Be the different. Be the one who is different. Be the one who creates the movement. Be the ones who raises a hand and speaks up. And you have all the tools today. We live in a fantastic and unique time where you could be heard no matter where you're based, no matter whatever is your country, language, location. You can be heard. You can really drive awareness and reach of whatever message you want to spread. And I just really encourage you, make sure that your message is full of kindness and empathy. So what could be the actual steps, right? First step, start. Don't delay. Don't wait when you are presumably ready. Because the state I'm ready doesn't exist. If you are ready, it means your goal is small. Your goal is not big enough. So start now. It will be scary. It will be maybe skeptical, but go for it. Start small. Share a small message within your community. Share some positive actions that you would like to bring to life with your close circle of friends. Inspire someone, inspire your neighbor, inspire your friend. Try to do something together, because those little steps, they will have a cumulative effect. And eventually, although you might think you're starting small, it could sound and feel big for someone near you. Second one, when you are in leadership, never forget that you are not alone. You are never alone. There is always someone who has the same point of view. There is always someone who believes in your purpose, who wants to support your calling. Go search for these people. And the best way to find them, it's actually speak up. It's communicate. It's exchange your thoughts and ideas and see with whom you can collaborate. And I really like this image of small pieces of puzzle kind of falling together, because the more you share your views, the more people you will find who actually fit in with you, with your vision, those little puzzles on the picture. Third one, please never stop growing. Never stop growing. Growth is something that should always be in our mind, because we either grow or we die. Because the moment we start developing, whether it's a personal development, physical development, mental development, emotional development, we start stagnating. And so the only way, it's always up. Focus on the skills. Pick the skills that are not the strongest for you yet. Create your action plan. Think how you can work on it. Think how you can be better than what we were yesterday. And by any means, do not compare yourself with anyone else except yourself. You are your own benchmark. You are your own measurement system, and see how you can be better versus who you are. And that's how you will progress as a beautiful human being in your life. And last but not least, as you keep growing, as you keep going upper and upper, never forget to send the elevator back. Never forget to give a hand to someone who is behind you. Think where you've been a year ago and help those people who are 1 year behind you, who are still more junior, who are still just starting up, who are still growing their vision and thinking. Be the one who gives them a hand. Be the mentor. And again, same as with the definition of a leader, or false definition of a leader, you don't need to be old, gray-haired, senior to be a mentor. You can be mentor today to someone who is younger, to someone who is living next to you, to someone who you knew from the school class, or someone who just joined your work in the office. Really, be the one who mentors people, and you will be surprised how many people will benefit from your knowledge today. Because you can think, okay, so what's interesting I can share? I won't be helpful much, but you'll be surprised how helpful your knowledge could be to those people. And in return, make it a circle. Never forget to search for a mentor for yourself, because this way, this person will pull you up. And again, it makes a beautiful circle when you help and someone helps you, and you keep growing. You keep growing from day to day. I want you to leave with this message here. Be the change of your generation. And really, really lead with a purpose, serve with the heart, and watch the world transform. Start with the people around you. Go to bigger communities and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you will generate immense impact You will be surprised how much impact you can generate by just striving to be a better leader, by just striving to bring more empathy to your daily actions, by just striving to use social media in a slightly different way. I'll pause here. I think I'm used up too much time. I'm sorry, Miracle, but I pause here, and I'm here to answer as many questions as you have, because I really wanted to make a conversation. And as I mentioned, if you want to stay in touch, you know where to find me, and I will be always eager to continue this conversation outside of this session. I'm back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, so the question I wanted to ask, someone asked this question. Okay, so I'm going to experience that some time ago. It was in a group, and I'm so grateful for this topic. And this was the question. I mean, this was the scenario that happened. So a lady had issues with someone who posted an information online, and she was really angry that, oh no, you don't post informations like this. And she got really angry, and she started, exchanging words with the person who posted. And the person did that out of innocent art. The person really didn't know. And everyone kept talking to the lady, oh, just be patient. You don't have to curse. You don't have to use, insultive words to describe the person. And the lady was angry the more. She was really angry. Like, why would you talk to me? Why would you tell me this? And she kept insulting everyone that tried to talk to her into understanding that do not be this harsh towards this lady. She just insulted everyone. And, in situations like that, I kept quiet. I couldn't talk anymore. I felt like, no, if I spoke to her, what would she say? I mean, she's insulting everyone who is talking. So, I just kept quiet. So the question is this: how do you manage situations like that? Situations where you find people who are very adamant to the fact that they think they're doing something wrong, but they don't think they're doing something wrong, and so they keep being toxic even in the process of you telling them that they're doing something wrong. How do you manage situations like this?
Look, you just described to me two different characters, right? So you have someone who became extremely aggressive in a way, and I don't know how many times you mentioned the word angry. I think you mentioned like almost 10 times describing the person. And so speaking about this person, I think the key point to keep in mind, it's every reaction is a choice. And so there was a reason, I don't know why she behaved this way, which kind of the coach would also give me opportunity for multiple questions to understand why she reacts this way. On the other side, the person who didn't have the intention to do something wrong, there are always a way to apologize. Look, being empathetic, being apologetic, just to reach out, not to try hide away, like own your values on your sleeve, right? Show it there. Say, that was my intention. Apologize for miscommunication. Is there anything I can help to fix you? If I can help you to fix it, really be proactive. So if I need to summarize behavior of both people, right? Quite often life throws something at us that we didn't plan, we didn't anticipate. And so our go-to reaction is being reactive, being angry, withdraw, hide, be quiet, etc. What I encourage everyone in leadership field or outside of the leadership field, be active, be consciously active. Why are you angry? Is aggressive now is the best behavior to sort situation? No. Why are you afraid to talk to your manager? Is you withdrawing and hiding is the best way to sort situation? No. So what happens? Two people just stand at a distance in them, pure misunderstanding of each other. And I'm sure this incident would go on for a couple of days, because given the emotional intensity, it will not be solved with this reaction in a short period of time. It would last, right? And so for me, the best advice, and again, as a coaches, we don't give advice, but the best approach in this environment is be consciously active. What type of behavior you want to choose out of your heart, out of your empathy to sort the situation. That would be my 5 cents here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we let you go, we have a question. And
Please,
I want to say this. I know some people, this is not the time that is meant to happen. So some people possibly will probably watch this after. So it's live now. So if you have any questions, you could also reach out to her directly, and you could find a name just right on the screen. So the last question I want to ask you before we let you go, Ines, You've had a lot of experience in leadership. You've dealt with people. You've worked with a lot of people. What's your advice for people and for life? What's something that you realized about life that you would want to share with someone, and you want to share?
I think I want more people to be more aware that life has infinite opportunities, and as human beings, our capacity has no limits. Because unfortunately, as a coach, I hear lots of smart, talented, brilliant people saying, hey, I'm not ready. Hey, I'm not capable. Hey, I'm not good enough. Hey, I'm not knowledgeable enough. And I really want to bust those misconceptions, those myths, those limiting beliefs. And if there is one message, if there is one advice, I want someone to keep in mind, just never forget you are capable of anything you want, of anything. And the only limit you have is your belief. So of course, if you tell yourself I'm not capable, it's reality, it's true. But whether you're capable or you're not capable, both are correct. It's just you decide which one you like as a true story. I really encourage people to dream big, really dream big, think high, shoot for the stars, really give yourself such an ambition goal that it would make you scary to say it out loud. Because that's the only way to progress in life. That's the only way to achieve something meaningful. And be proud of all your steps.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. Really grateful for this. I'm truly grateful. And then the last one. So this it was meant to be the last question, but this is the last question.
As many as you have, Miracle, please.
What is leadership in your experience? What is leadership? What would you define leadership to? I mean, in the simplest form, from your own point of view, from your experience so far in life, what would you say leadership is?
I would say it's a capacity to inspire and mobilize people around you for the good purpose. And I really want to highlight purpose, kind of starting from the back. So there should be a purpose why you want to inspire those people. And this purpose should be inspiring and motivating and kind-hearted. Because unfortunately, in the history, we had lots of examples that could be confused with leadership, but in reality, it was just manipulation of big masses of people. So for me, leadership is really a kind-hearted act of inspiring people to achieve a common purpose.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm really grateful for this. I'm really grateful for the fact that you created time after the fact that, there was a time mix up. And we really hope that one day, probably when Dixon Leadership becomes, we'll probably have you in Africa, and we're going to have like a session with you once again, physically. Thank you.
I would love to, Miracle. I would love. I'm sure life will bring lots of opportunities. I would love to do it live. I would love to answer all the questions live, and I'm always here for questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, you could also reach out to her in case you have any direct question. And then that's it. Thank you so much, Mom. Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you so much for joining. And we hope to have you guys once again for the next session. Thank you so much. Bye.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Miracle. Thank you for being.